When I was younger, I was obliviously confident. It was never really even a thought to me, confidence. I just did what I want when I wanted, if I wanted to. And I was exactly who I always am without questioning anything the entire time. I was, the only way to describe it, obliviously confident. I didn't think of other people's opinion. I didn't even think of my opinion of myself. I just was who I was, and it was as simple as that.
Oh my god.
It didn't stay as simple as that, though. It was the beginning of 2022 when things began to shift for me, when my confidence began to take a dive. I had never truly understood what insecurity meant on a personal level until then. And my thoughts and doubts were just so constant, it felt like a positive mindset was out of reach. I would constantly be in the hallways talking to a friend, and I would always wonder if I was saying the right thing, if the silences were awkward, what they thought of me. My self-esteem was treacherously low. It was not a good time for me at all. My mind was an unhappy place to be, not very fun. My mind was not a fun place to be. This was insecurity like I'd never known before. I would come home, lay on my bed, and I would be so confused because it didn't make sense to me how I could go from being known for being the girl who was always so happy and laughing to questioning every single detail of my character. It was very confusing to me. It was a strange experience. It was new. I went through a lot of last year in the beginning being a complete follower. I would follow what the crowd was doing. I would say what I thought others would like me to say. I would basically be the most likable version of myself that I thought it could be. There was a lot of problems with this, obviously, but at the time I didn't know that, so I just kept on going. I spent a lot of time on social media, specifically YouTube. I would get myself lost in consumption of videos, just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling all day. Podcasts, music, YouTube. That was what I spent a lot of my time doing and engaging in. That was the escape for me from all of my struggles at the time. While I was spending so much time scrolling through media, I stumbled across Anything Goes, Emma Chamberlain's podcast. I really enjoyed Anything Goes. I became a religious listener. I would log on to Spotify every Thursday and wait for the upload. And one day, one of the things she said in her podcast kind of struck me. It was an episode called Confidence.
I think that the key to it all is, I say this in every episode for literally everything. Like every time I give advice, it's like, oh, be by yourself. But really, I think that finding your own real identity, finding your people that understand you, that you can be yourself around, and doing things that make you feel confident, but doing things for you a lot. I think that really helps.
This idea of isolating myself to better understand myself, to improve my life, was new to me. I genuinely never thought about it before. So as soon as I heard it, I began to try it because clearly my life needed some changing and needed some improving. I was desperate to do whatever I could to improve my confidence, even if that meant pushing everybody away. So that's exactly what I did. I pushed everybody away for the summer of 2022 and focused on me. At first, being so alone felt very strange to me because I'd always been surrounded by people, constantly hanging out with people or in a sports activity. But now, for the first time, I was alone by choice. I began journaling a lot. It was a lot for self-discovery and a lot for just because it was recommended. I journaled because it was recommended, and I learned a lot of things about myself. When you're journaling, like thoughts you didn't even know that you had just come out as you're writing, and it was a very helpful process. I took up a lot of new hobbies I didn't know I had interest in, just to try it. I learned a lot of behaviors about myself, a lot of little quirks I didn't quite realize. And through learning more about myself, my opinions, my character, I began to start loving myself fully. I was obliviously confident, as I told you. I never really thought much about who I am more than a basic description. And discovering or creating myself really put it into a different light. With understanding myself came confidence. Because I knew my values, my character traits, my interests, and my weaknesses, I was able to hold myself with a type of assurance. I could walk with my spine straight, I could speak my mind clearly and freely, and it was really just a sense of ease I had in everyday life, because I knew that with difficulties I would still be okay because I was on my own team, which sounds kind of funny, but that's how it was. People not liking me doesn't really matter because I like myself. Obviously I still want to be liked, but at the end of the day, I've got me. Confidence really is just knowing that I believe in myself. That even when nobody else is gonna understand my goals or nobody else is gonna quite believe, I am. And that's enough. That's truly what change confidence has made.